I want to congratulate Air Force on a great year. They were, every bit of challenge as we thought. Very talented attacking team with a great desire and will to compete, which you'd expect none less from a group from the service. So they have to be really proud of what they did. Those group of seniors I know are probably very gutted because they put a lot of work in, and they've been really good the last few years in particular, winning a lot of games. So I want to congratulate them on their year. And our guys, we knew this game would be a little different in some spacing and areas, and we knew that it might become a track meet at times. We talked about that. I thought we managed that pretty well as the game unfolded. Really good to have Justin back in this particular game with the way they do play, so the timing couldn't have worked out better. And restarts, we often always say to our team, are pivotal this time of the year, as they are throughout, but in particular now. And Trevor to get another huge assist was fantastic. But that team didn't quit. No quit in that team, Air Force, and they pushed us to the end. And obviously, what you expect, we gave a few restarts away. I thought late, a little bit disappointed with some of our communication, and a couple times I thought we got beat on some backdoor movement that we pride ourselves in. But there was always someone there to help. So when one guy didn't do his job exactly how we would hoped, there was someone there to help, and that's a sign of a good team. So I told them I'm excited for them to be able to once again have a chance to punch a ticket to a college cup in your home stadium. It's a great opportunity, a really fun environment, and we certainly hope our students come out and be part of that with us next weekend.
What can you say about Austin Poncho scoring that first goal and just kind of the form he's been in the past few weeks?
I mean, there's no one that put any more energy on the field than Poncho. That's a fit Air Force group, certainly, with their altitude advantage and all that. And you'd think Poncho still would have been the fittest guy in the field. He's relentless. He's been so important for us for a lot of years, but in particular, his form offensively and just his final pass and decision-making has really been fine-tuned. It's like it's all coming together at the right time, and he's shown great spurts of that throughout his career. And but he starts our pressure up the field, and no one does it like he does, and everyone feeds off that. And that's what's great about what Poncho brings to our team.
Coming from an outsider's perspective, you guys seem to have opened this tournament up very aggressively attacking in the beginning, both games, really getting on the board early, but really pushing the issue. And I asked the guys, is anything to do with last year's finish of not reaching the ultimate goal have anything to do with that? And not like it's in the back of their mind getting back to that national championship.
Yeah, they're really driven. I felt that, all through the preparation of last spring and what they've done this year. So, we don't talk about a lot. This is probably the first I've mentioned Santa Barbara was today when I told them that they're 90 minutes away now from having an opportunity to go there. But really, we haven't said it much because they knew how last year was so important about how they just stayed in the moment, and that's why they were so successful. This year, we just kind of tipped the scale, and we've gotten those 2 titles, and now, we're one step closer to an opportunity. So I'm just happy for our seniors in particular who, again, this game at home is a special game. I was able to play in those a few during my time, and those are the games I remember most, was an opportunity to go to the Final Four at home. It's pretty neat.
Todd, why is Trevor so successful on assists? A lot of guys want to be successful. What does he bring?
Well, it's like a goal scorer right now. He's so confident because of his success, so that's brooming with him. And second, he works at it. He's diligent after practice. He spends time with Andrew and others to, work on uncontested restarts and finds those spots that we look for. And he's a student of the game. When we give them scout details, he is locked in. Trevor in his next life could be an excellent coach because his attention to detail is as good as anyone on our teams, and that's great to have with someone who, again, knows everything that needs to get done. He is our, like many, a utility player in his positional abilities, and we put him everywhere, and he just gets the job. But it's a lot of confidence right now. I'd say is the biggest piece for him.
Is this the best form of his career?
I think so, yes. Yeah, he's getting it all done. I thought today he did some really good things for us, way outside of the assist that he provided, just his normal play. thought it was excellent.
Do you think you would have scored that set piece if Timmy didn't get a hit on it?
Hard to say. I think it had eyes on the back post, but it won't be hard when we will see that on those goal cameras that we installed. See if we can see if they could show that.
Update on Frankie.
Yeah, I mean he was a little bit hampered all week, and we kept him out, and I think he was. I'm a little scared because he felt something that normally you don't feel. But that's the warrior in him. I mean, he immediately was like, I can't try to play through this. I need to get off the field and let the team get it done without me. And the hardest part is he wanted to be on the field, and so he gets very emotional. So he was in tears coming off because he knows how important this game is to him and the group. But he was also the biggest cheerleader on the sideline, and I say that with very specific communication. It was like he was on the field, but on the touchline, which was great.
You get together and watch Notre Dame and Virginia later today?
Oh, yeah. This is a fun day when you play early, like last round, and you can sit with the staff at, usually over at my house and wait and watch those games and know that you're punched through. It's pretty fun. Just like last night was entertaining to watch those games.
Going as far as you guys did last year, not getting to where you wanted to, but a lot of experience for those guys that came back, and now they seem to be playing with a chip on their shoulder to get that ultimate goal.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of experience that we're pushing through, and all those little moments that you gain over the time, every little moment on the field is they're using that to our advantage, and there's a great belief and drive in the team, and yet they're still playing very free. They're not. This is not about like the weight of the world is on them. They just want to go out and beat the next team, and they love doing it. They love competing. I mean, we were about to kick each other too much the last few days in training, and we had to separate some guys. I mean, they could not wait to go out and compete. So I was just happy this game came. Otherwise, we might have had a guy down in training.
Are there moments that you can kind of point to where you feel like you're seeing differences in this team going through this same process as opposed to last year, maybe because of some of what they took from last year?
Yeah, the confidence of the group, the extra sense of like every detail is so important, whether that be our scout details, our restart details. They know and they've seen how that's been helpful. And ultimately they go into these games going, we've done this. We've had success here. There's not unknowns. And that's really, you can't give that to a group. They have to experience that. And again, it gets back to the seniors. I mean, all these players have had so many roles that they know how to hold each other accountable and know how to get all the different little details in the field done, regardless of where they're on the field. It's a blessing for a staff to have that.
You mentioned earlier this being sort of a track meet kind of game. I mean, how is it different or challenging, I guess, to balance that sort of risk-reward style?
Yeah, they did. They go 100 miles an hour. There's no build-up and rotation for them. You saw it at every restart. The ball goes out of bounds, they want to go. And we like to play fast. We knew that when we got in the front half, we were going to have some great number, even situations. And we want to take advantage of that. It was just really our staging play. So Timmy and Jack, on when we do advance, and then we have to be able to go. We have to go fast now because there's very little rotation opportunities because they man mark our midfield. So you can't get it wide and ask for it back and rotate it like we typically do at times in the front half. It's like you're going and you're like, wow, I'm 2v2. I'm in the box. This is nice. But the play's going to finish at some point, right? It's going to be a shot. It's going to be a goal. It's going to go up for a throw, and then you got to defend. So it is a lot. I mean, and they like that. And so we just had to be smart on restarts and the ball's at a bounce. Okay, let's slow it down. Or keep it with our center backs, with the guys up the field. Because when you have to get open with man marking, it requires so much more work and running than it is playing against a very zone defensive group where you're just finding pockets. So we prepared the best we can for that, and I thought the guys executed really well.
Obviously, you guys were still attacking in the second half, but we also looking for a little more opportunities to slow it down, like you're talking about.
We were, and that's the hard. I mean, we get in some even numbers, and when they give you the channels like they do, and we move their players, and you can get Justin 1v1 and Griff. Like, we don't want to necessarily slow it and then rotate it because it's going to still be hard to get open. So we want to take those advantages and maybe we get a throw or a corner and still we're up 2-0, so that's good. So we were looking for that third. The danger was playing inside combinations and getting nipped. And so you saw Andrew much less aggressive today, coming inside and trying to find combining. I thought he was excellent, and you know what? I do that a lot. I'm very good at it, but today it's not the right time. And I thought Andrew, again, that just shows the maturity of where he is. He wants to win more than he wants to score or make a play. And yet he still was super dangerous in the attack. But he was very calculated today. Very team-oriented day for Andrew.
Coach, going back to the tempo thing, like you mentioned, there's times that the pace needs to change. Is this responsibility also in the midfielders, both Trevor and Austin, on not only passing to score, but controlling the tempo of the team, making sure no one's rushing, and just making the game nice for you to watch?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about playing higher through the lines with our first pass and letting our players support it. So there's times that it came into our higher players, and they just had to just hold it and let players advance. But at the same time, those players that are advancing are going to be marked, and so they have to work hard to get open. So we still have to find that next pass. So, again, once it went into the final phase, it's not going to be a slow 5, 6, 7 pass. It's going to be 2, 3 passes, and then our chance. And when we engaged into that phase, we had to know that it was okay to go fast, because that's probably what's going to be on.
And chemistry is so important for that because of the passing?
Yeah, I mean, we still were very sharp, and a lot of the 1-2s, little combinations, are they're very susceptible to 1-2s because they're very tight. So I thought in the second half, Griff was much better. Instead of dribbling at 17, he was looking for more 1-2s and using his athleticism into the space. A lot of space in this game, more than normal.
What is it? I guess just you talked about Andrew there and the ability. It's not a natural goal scoring position, obviously, but his ability to think his way through a matchup and know when it's time to be more aggressive versus when it's time to be more of a, maybe I guess you'd say, a natural fullback.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other part was too. I mean, with their center backs, they our movement to create little gaps in the channels. Andrew a lot of times looks up and he's got Poncho or Renix making a run. It's like, how do we not give him the ball there? Versus when you're in zonal spacing, it's a lot of little combinations through the lines, and he can then support it through his own running. His player was going to track him wherever he went. So he knew that we couldn't get kind of our natural number up overloads that we look for with him. So it was just going to be different. And the guys really understood that, and they were good with it. Still, it's tough to train it. We did a lot of man marking the 2 days prior, and the guys were like, this is hard, this is different, and we kind of had to shock the body. And we did the best to prepare, no different than some other sports. When you play against a zone, all of a sudden you got to be able to adapt. If you don't have the personnel, your team doesn't play like that. Our second team had a hard time man marking because we have very good principles in men in space. So it was hard to prepare for this game.
Any thoughts on Trevor passing your season assist total?
I was happy for him. I told him it was coming. And he came right over after he did it and said, I got it, coach. So I'm glad he was focused on the game, not beating my assist record. He did. He waved at me and said, I got you. So I was pretty happy. I said, I'm going to be really pumped because it's going to be a big moment when you get it, obviously. So couldn't be happy for a kid records are meant to be taken down. It's another good one.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.